welcome to No Excuses. It is time to talk about my last week. I started out my week strong. Man, I was going to do it. Everything was going to be great. And then it wasn't. It was a crazy, crazy week. So let me go ahead and tell you what happened on my week. This week has just flown by. In terms of eating and exercise, it's been a rough week. Started out Monday strong. I was like on top of it. I was exercising. It was 5 a.m. Everything was going great. The dog needed to go out, so I just slipped over to the sliding glass door, looked out, and actually made a comment to myself in my head saying, oh, nothing's out there, so she's safe. So I set her out. We've been letting her out a little bit without a leash when Jason's home because she listens to him a lot better than she listens to me. And so I put her out. Jason was in the shower. And she did her business. She peed. She walked a couple steps further, and I was like, okay, she's going to do the other one too. And then she took off running into the dark because it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Started yelling at her. And she wasn't coming. She was not coming at all. And I yelled a couple times. She didn't come. And at this point, I'm like, she's probably down at the stop sign at the end of the road. So I ran back into the house and ran into the bathroom where Jason was showering. And I yelled, the dog has run away. So he flings open the door and he takes off running through the house and out the sliding glass door. It's about 50 degrees outside. He is soaking wet and he is naked as a jaybird. And he's out there yelling for the dog, Zoe, get in here. She did come. I suspicion now that she actually never left the yard. But I didn't know that at the time. It was dark. I couldn't see her. So we actually, so she came in and Jason got back in the shower and finished the shower. I giggled about this all day, thinking about my naked husband outside yelling for the dog. It was dark. And we don't have neighbors right behind us at this point. He texted me later in the day and he's like, my word, do you think the neighbors heard me? And I'm like, dude, who cares if they heard you? Did they see ya? So that was it. I never finished my exercise that morning. I did not. That night we had dinner. We had Mexican chicken soup, which was one of my favorites. I'm not going to blame it on the Mexican chicken soup because that's my favorite. But I actually felt really bloated when I was done eating. And the next morning I had a flare-up of GERD, really bad, like really bad. I started self-medicating myself and I just was miserable most of the day. By the afternoon, I was starting to feel better, but just really, really wiped out. I obviously did not exercise through that. Did not track my food either because I was just like eating what I could. And so that was there. Wednesday, I still felt really, really slow and sluggish. So I really didn't do much that day. So then yesterday I was walking the dog before work and she got loose from me. Yanked my arm. My arm is sore. Yanked it, jarred my arm, went out to meet another guy and a dog on the road, which is a no-no. But that, yeah, hurt my arm, so I didn't exercise today. I haven't tracked anything either, but I'm going to get back on that. I promise. But anyway, that's my week thus far. Who knows what else is going to happen? A loose dog twice? I don't know. A naked husband? I don't know. Anyway. By Friday, my arm that had been wrenched by the dog was really, really hurting, and I had the day off anyway. So I did a bunch of little errands. I got my eyes checked. New glasses are coming my way. And did a couple errands, and I spent a lot of time on the computer. My own personal computer. I have actually been working on digitizing my mom's recipes, and I actually put some of the tried and true ones into a book form. So I'm in the process of getting that finished editing, and I'm going to have it up online. I know some family members wanted some recipes, and I know some of her patrons at the market where she sold the baked goods wanted some. So I figured, hey, why not? Anyway, that is what I worked on yesterday. It is now the weekend and we are ready to head out. We have a couple errands. We're gonna take the dog with us for the first one or two, and then we're gonna hit some other things and do a couple other things around town. And who knows what else we might get into. My weight, pretty much I'm maintaining within a 3 to 5 pound range. Yeah. I'm at the low end of that 3 to 5 pound range that I've been in, so that's good. What can I say? I did not track my food. I obviously did not exercise because of the dog, the lunatic dog. And it is what it is. life sometimes happens, and sometimes you just have to roll with the punches. And last week was a roll with the punches, the naked punches, but the punches. So my goal for the end of the year is to actually finish some projects or get some projects really close to completion. And the recipes was one. I have a couple more that I need to scan, and I'm hoping to get those done later today, this evening, whatever. But that was a big project. I also am working on a Lone Star quilt. I'm finishing up that. I'm actually hand piecing it. It's just easier. I like to hand piece because I can just carry it with me. If I'm in the car, I can hand piece in the car. If I'm on vacation, I can take it with me and I don't have to carry a sewing machine. Move from couch to couch, doesn't matter. So I've been hand piecing that. I started it right before we got the dog, and then I stopped because Jason was injured, the dog was there, it was just a lot. So I stopped and never picked it up. So I am working on that again. I have a bunch of other things, those recipes were one of them. I'm just trying to finish things and streamline my life. I don't want to have all these projects hanging out, so I'm trying to finish them. However, that said, I opened up a cabinet and I'm like, what is that down there? Oh yeah, another project that's not finished. So I'm on a mission to finish some projects. But I am starting a new project. And what this new project is I'm going to do a 365. What this is take one photo a day, each day of the year. I was going to wait to start it on January, but I was like, no, I'm going to start it now. So I started it on the 28th. Here are my pictures thus far for Monday through Friday. After hearing what my week was like, you can understand why there was my Lanta on Tuesday. And then you saw the one from yesterday was actually a picture of what I'm working on, part of the quilt. So I liked it. So I'm doing that. I have been struggling with a low-grade depression for a while, and I know from the past that photography is amazing for me because it forces me to look at the world in a different way. Forces me to look for beauty when you feel like there's nothing pretty. And I think that a photo project would be good for me. Now, why a 365? I actually did this a couple years ago, like 10, 15 years ago, where I did one picture a day, started it for a year, made it about 2.5 years, and I loved the process. Some days I have to admit, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what I want to take a picture of, blah, 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 blah. And winter is difficult when, you're working all day and it's dark, because what do you take a picture of? How many pictures can you really take in your house? Well, I do have pets, so be forewarned. But I loved the process. My photography skills improved. And the weird side effect was that when I look back to those 2 years, I can tell you, you say, what did you do in January? And I can be like, well, I have a picture of this. So I went with Mom and Dad to that church where Dad preached, and we got a snowstorm, and I threw up the water in the bit, and we had a snowstorm, and I was shoveling, and then we had this, and we had this little red bird that was in our yard. I can rattle off what happened because of the pictures. Very, very neat. And I'm just like, that's kind of cool. So I am doing a 365. I started it like I said, I started it on October 28th. Not a problem. So officially my 365 will be over on October 29th of next year. However, I want to probably try to do the whole 2025. And just for the record, I actually started the previous one on September 20th. I don't know how I remember that. Probably because there's pictures. Anyway, so I'm doing a 365. I would love to know if anybody else has ever done a photo a day for 365 days a year. If you have, let me know. And if you haven't, I'm just going to recommend it. It's actually good. It forces you to look at the world in a different way. I would love to see your pictures if you are, so let me know. And I think I've babbled on endlessly here, so it is time to say farewell. Have a good day. No excuses.